Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Yeah, we're in Money Week, a week where we are talking about money from a biblical perspective. Now, money is an interesting thing because we all deal with it. I mean, you deal with money when you put gas in your car. You deal with money when you go to the grocery store, when you pay your bills. And it's not just outflow. We deal with money in the income, what's incoming to us, where we try and figure it out. But one of the most interesting aspects of money, and something we need to be careful of, is we have a tendency to value people based upon money. That's not a good thing. I'm reminded of a case when I was a very young lawyer that was being tried by a friend of mine. And the fellow was making a closing argument to the jury about how much to award in damages. Now, the plaintiff was the surviving 22-year-old, I think, son with special needs. His mother had died, and his mother was a widow woman with limited income. I think she lived off Social Security. And my friend was making this argument to the jury. My friend said, one of the things we have to guard against are being people who value others based upon their income. He said, if this had been a banker who died, there's not a lawyer around who wouldn't have said, yeah, if we win, it's at least $1 million case because the banker's, a banker. But when it's a widow woman who doesn't have an income, then the argument would be she's not worth as much as the banker. And my friend urged the jury to reject that. Now, I don't know that my friend's cynicism of how we see others is as full as he made it sound in that trial. But I do know that money is a concern for everyone, and how we value people becomes very important in this regard. I read an article, a news article, I think it was on Apple News, but I think they pulled it out of something called Personal Finance. And it said that the sandwich generation, Generation Xers, these are people in their 40s basically right now, into the maybe young 50s or something. But that age group, 35 to 55, let's say, Generation X is worried and stressed about money. They don't have as much saved up as they need for retirement, and they're really stressed trying to make ends meet, especially during these inflationary times. And so I read stories like that, and I think about arguments like that and how we value people, and I'm reminded of a very important biblical passage. This passage comes out of the Hebrew Scriptures, a book called Proverbs. And in the Proverbs, the 30th chapter, verses 8 and 9, the wisdom that's given says the following. It's like a prayer to God. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me, this proverb continues, feed me with the food that's needful for me. Give me what I need, lest I be full and deny you, God, and say, who's God? Who's the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of God. In other words, there's a sweet medium where we have what we need and we're not in risk of violating ethical morality to get more. And yet there's a danger if we have too much and we start valuing things differently and start thinking too highly of ourselves and start relying less on God. So I like that idea. Look for that sweet spot. Never, ever, ever get so much you don't rely on God, or it distorts your value of others. I don't know. More to come tomorrow. But those musings on money are your video thought for today.